Today on The Grid, it's time for our monthly blind photo critiques episode. My special guest today is On the Lam. He's a can of ham. He doesn't like spam, but he's the man, the one and only Vanelli. As always, we're giving away some cool prizes, and it all starts in just 60 seconds from now.
Grid is brought to you by Tamron. Check out their 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8 lens. It's for Sony full frame mirrorless. It's awesome. Go to tamron-usa.com.
And ProPhoto, the light shaping company. Check out the ProPhoto B1X, powered all the right places. Go to prophoto.com/US.
And Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to another live episode of The Grid. It's me and the human trailer hitch himself. It's Vanelli. He's like Cher. He doesn't really have a last name. It's just Vanelli. There's Cher, there's Sinatra, Lady Gaga. Of course, that could be two words. But then it's just Vanelli.
And thank you, because the hotel I stayed at last night, that's how they said, "Oh, hi, you're Vanelli."
He's Vanelli. Anyway, good to have you here.
Hey, thank you.
So you are a mostly a portrait photographer.
Yes, sports and portrait.
Sports and portrait. That's right. You do a lot of sports. What am I saying? A lot of sports. Sport. But you do a lot of sports portraiture too.
Exactly.
So you do portraits and you do sports portraits and you do sports as well. And you are and I'm going to say it, a martial arts master. He is. And that's how we met 20 years ago.
Yes.
20 years ago.
And it was cool because we met as Scott and Vanelli, Robert. We didn't meet as a martial artist.
No.
That was later, like 2 or 3 days after we met.
Yeah. So what happened was I was teaching at the first Photoshop World, and I was showing how I did a logo for a martial arts organization. And then Vanelli comes up and says, "Hey, I'm a martial artist. I'm a member of that association." And so I choked him out, and that was it. We became,
and we had the picture of that, right?
and we have the picture 10 years ago. He shows me last night. 10 years ago yesterday, there's a picture of me at Photoshop World choking. Of course, you don't really choke Vanelli out. Nobody chokes Vanelli out. But anyway, we're glad to have you here. Today's our blind photo critiques. We got a couple little quick things, but I got to say some shout outs here. Piotr's here from London. Hey, Piotr. Kevin Scott is here. Hello, Grid Nation. And all the way from Lisbon, it's Chiquitando. Joe's here from Houston. Carla says, hello, everyone. Jerry is here from wherever. She says, hello, Gridians, or Gary. It's Jerry. I'm going to go with Jerry. Hello, Gridians. All right. Glad to have you guys here. Lots to cover real quickly. Eric Kuna is not here today. That's not Eric Kuna. That's Vanelli. Let's just let it linger there for a minute on Vanelli. Let it linger.
Yeah, I'm out shooting the space shuttle. Not actually SpaceX.
Yeah, he's shooting the SpaceX launch tonight, so he has to get there quite early. And let's scroll up and see some of his pictures over on his. He's been shooting lights out. He has been doing crazy stuff. And so anyway, he's over there shooting tonight and trying some new stuff. Look at that thing. Look at the one on the bottom right. Can you click on that? So this is from the last launch a couple of weeks ago. Literally just a couple of weeks ago, where he is hand-holding and shooting up for the release of the first stage rocket, I guess.
Wow.
And is that an incredible, you never see that shot. Of course, everybody will be trying to take it, this time. But anyway, kudos to him. He's getting lots of love for his work, and he's shooting for a new agency now, because he's been shooting for a European space agency, and now he's doing, he's got a new secret client.
So ironically, I always knew him as a video producer, a video guy.
Yeah.
So, but hanging out with you, he's been rubbing some of your talent off, and look what's happening.
Oh, dude, I don't know where he didn't get it from me, because I've never shot a rocket ever. He did it all on his own. But anyway, he's over at NASA today, getting set up. He's got he has special access because he's with media, and he's setting up all kinds of cameras all around the pad and stuff. And also, anyway, we're looking. So tomorrow morning we'll be looking for his shots, because I think it's between midnight and 2 this morning, or I'm sorry, 10 and midnight is the expected launch. So anyway, that's coming out. That's why he's not here today. First, big shout out to all the people in Indianapolis and Minneapolis that came out to see me last week. Oh my gosh, I had the best time. It's my brand new tour. It's called the Ultimate Photography Crash Course. I had such a great time. And it's fun doing a brand new tour like that. And it really went over like amazingly well. I was so tickled at how it went over. Everybody was great. We had just a blast. And I got to go shooting one day. Can I show you some pictures?
Yeah, let's see
So
these.
buddy Jay invited me to go shooting. And so I've got some pictures that I took with him. We spent the whole day. That's Vanelli's computer. I didn't take any of those pictures in Minneapolis. There we go. So this is the St. Paul Cathedral in St. Paul. So we're in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, the Twin Cities area. And we got a photo pass. You have to actually request photo credentials to shoot inside there. And we did, and they were very gracious to let us go in and shoot. And the only challenge was a tour group, a bus of tour group showed up about 20 minutes after we were there. And they were, I was just going to rip you through real quick.
Oh, wow.
But it was a really interesting place with really great light. And this is almost every bit of this is platypod. I have a couple of tripod shots because I did bring a tripod, but I almost used all platypod for everything. So I would lean it on top of stuff and it was a platypod fest. And we're about to give away the same platypod that I used. Well, not exactly the one I used, but same make and model. This is the outside of the church. This is like jumping out of the truck on a rainy day and taking a picture just so I'd have some reference. Then we went to the state capitol in Minneapolis, St. Paul, it's the state capital of Minnesota. And you could see the church from it, and it was beautiful. What a gorgeous state capitol, and we got to sneak into some of the rooms, and everybody was letting us shoot everywhere. This is all platypod.
Wow.
And so I shared the pictures on my blog if you want to see all the behind-the-scenes pictures. There we go. And yeah, it was beautiful. The state capitol was awesome. Then we went to an old library, and we got to shoot in the old library. It was really cool. And then I think one of the highlights was we went to an incredibly small chapel, architecturally designed after I think it's called the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, Turkey, which it's a giant mosque, and now it's a museum. And so it was designed after that. And this, you can't tell because I'm on the floor with platypod using a 16 millimeter lens. There's only like 12 pews in the whole place. It's very small.
Oh, wow.
But look how big it looks because of these are shots of it. And that was a lot of fun. And we had the whole place to ourselves. There's nobody there. It is actually in a graveyard.
Wow.
So it's in a very, very high-end, graveyard. And here's this beautiful chapel. And that's the ceiling shooting straight up with a platypod. Platypod, platypod. And that's what it looks like from the outside. It's very small, very, very small. But just gorgeous and tons of fun. And so thanks to Jay for spending the day with me and letting me shoot my platypod all over the place. I had a great time with it. We're going to give away one of those away. Now, this is the big one. And I used the little one, which is actually the one that fits inside this box here. Yeah, I used the Ultra. Let me just pop this bad boy open. So today we're giving away the smaller one. And this is the one, oh no, it's empty.
I didn't take it.
I know you didn't. I know. I was using it the other day again. Anyway, so literally I would just keep it in my back pocket and just pull it out. It's the greatest thing. And my buddy was really like, man, I got to get one of those. Because they are the greatest. Because nobody ever said anything anywhere I shot. No security guards, nobody. All they wanted to see was, what's the shot look like? I'll pick it up and show them, They're like, I've never seen that perspective before. I'm like, I know, platypod rules. We're giving one away today. So if you haven't won a platypod, maybe today will be your day. It's funny, my buddy says, I always enter every week to try to win it. I've never won it. I go, lots of people enter to try to win it. Just keep trying. So anyway, hey, read a couple of comments, and I'm going to go get some behind-the-scenes shots, okay?
All right, hey, Drew. Do you remember Drew from Photoshop World?
Hey, Drew.
Debbie says hi from Cloudy, California, Cabasi's neighborhood. No matter what Cabasi always says, it's always sunny in California. Let's see. Here's a question, Scott. This is for you. Is it with your Tamron, or did you just use a one lens setup?
Okay, so they took my Tamron back. Tamron was a loner. So I bought a new camera this week. I got the EOS R. I bought the mirrorless, And when I noted on Facebook, hey, I got it, everybody goes, I thought you already had that. So Canon let me have a 60-day loaner when it first came out to try it out, to review it and all that stuff. So it was not mine. And so I finally, I sold my 5D Mark III and a lens, and I bought the EOS R. So I have it now, and I started messing with it. I really haven't shot with it yet, but I'm taking it with me to Paris next month for my workshop. And I'm going from Paris. I go down to Provence to shoot the lavender fields, and then my son and I fly together up to London for the World Modeling Convention. I'm speaking there on the 16th.
Oh, wow.
So have you heard about the World Modeling Convention?
No.
May I tell you? Because you're into portraits. I'm serious. You may want to fly there. You've been to London.
Yes.
You know a lot of people in London. Because
Yes.
everybody was telling me, we took Vanelli here, we took Vanelli there. Seriously. Like, you must have been with, like, Dave and Peter and all those guys.
10 Downing Street.
Yeah.
We got
they
to
took
see.
you to 10 Downing Street. So listen, this is amazing. They're doing this whole thing. It's hundreds of photographers, hundreds of models, hairstylists, makeup artists, and they're setting up shoots all over for you to do. So to get models and hair and makeup artists and everybody and stylists all working together to learn to shoot and work together, work respectfully together, and all this kind of stuff. It's got a really noble cause, and there's a lot of people speaking there. Joe McNally speaking there.
Yeah, I think I did hear that. Bobby Long and
Why don't
Lee
you?
Vars.
You should come over.
I'll just hop on.
Dude, flights to London are cheap, and with the money you got, dude, he's raking it. He's got more sources of income than anyone in America. Vanelli's got a little bit of hand in everything.
Oh my God.
Everything. There's no amount of thing. There's nothing you can buy where a portion of it doesn't go to Vanelli.
Oh, God.
All right. Anyway, today is our thing. So to answer Alenka's thing, I did not use a Tamron. I took a Canon 16 to 35 f4. So it's lighter. It's way cheaper. I'm shooting interiors. What do you need an f2.8 for if you've got a platypod or a tripod? And I was using
in all honesty, I want to see
here's
one.
the pictures.
Oh.
So here's me. So look, I'm leaning my platypod. I leaned it on a do not do something. Yeah, I just leaned it right on there. It's sturdy as a rock. Here it is shooting some of those capital shots. So yeah, this is from my blog the other day. Yeah, you put it wherever, and the guards just look at it, and nobody says a word. Nobody, we were shooting everywhere. Oh, that's my class there. We were shooting everywhere, and no one ever, and that's the thing about it. Tripods are illegal everywhere, but platypods are welcome everywhere.
Now, what ball head did you use on that?
That happens to be a Really Right Stuff BH40, so the smaller one. And so if people ask me, like, what kind of ball head should I get with one? I tell them it's the Oben BE117. If you go to B&H and you search for platypod plus Oben, they have a deal to get the two, to get the ball head and the platypod ultra. So it's a really pretty good deal. So hey, let's look at some images. We got lots more news and stuff to share, but let's get the ball rolling. And we're going to start with, let me grab another one here. Let's start with this one. Since we're talking about London, these shots look like they're from London. Actually, let's get them a little bigger. That's kind of small. I think if I open them in camera raw, maybe we can make them larger. There we go. And we'll take a look at the 3 images. Now Vanelli is a portrait guy. So he's like, oh, these are travel and landscape and all. So I won't make you, chime in too much on these. But so I have two things to say. First off, I really like these. As a travel photographer, I really like them. One of the things I like them, so you're shooting on the Thames River here. It is very hard to get a clean shot of the Thames. It is a very, very, very busy waterway. And I think the light here is great. And I love look at the leading lines. Starting right here in the foreground. Look, leads you right over there to the Tower Bridge. And then right into where the sun is. I think lighting-wise and compositionally, this is really good. I think now a lot of this was done in post. And I don't say that as a negative. I'm like, hey, a lot of this was done in post. Good on you. This one, I only have one thing about. This is beautiful, and I think that the public would really like this shot. But as a photographer looking at it, the colors look a bit unnatural.
Yes.
They don't look like colors you would actually likely to see, though it is possible. Those, like Serge Vermilly talks about this, that one of the mistakes that he says he sees people make is using colors that aren't really in nature. And I would do this. Just go here to the vibrant slider and just pull it back a little bit maybe to right there, and all of a sudden it looks real. So it's just a little too vibrant. Same thing with this one. This is a good shot, and that's a really interesting building, but everything's just a little too vivid. Just go to the saturation, crank it back a little. It's still a good shot, but without being like a little over the top. But I think pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's funny because I heard that the rule, the 70-50 rule.
Oh, yeah.
Dial it back 30% or 50%, especially if you're doing a lot of HDR or
Tonal stuff.
Yeah, just when you think it looks perfect, just dial it back a touch, and then you'll see the true colors.
So for this photographer, forget the photography stuff. You're nailing the composition and stuff.
Yes.
Really nicely done. But I think your post-processing, while good, is just exactly what Vanelli said. Do it the way you want it, and when you're done, back it off by 30%. One of the things that might help, a lot of people do this, is do it the way you like it and then walk away from it.
Yes.
And come back the next day and look at it, and I think that you'll see that it's probably a little much. Let me look at one more, and then we're going to go to break. Let me just look at one more quick one. I've got one right here. Let's see what this is. So this is kind of all over the place. You got a sports shot, all right, and then you've got a kind of a portrait. Well, not kind of portrait. It's more of an environmental portrait, and this is like a setup scene. Okay, so I'm gonna let V take his crack at it, and I've got some very specific things, but I'll do the sports one. Oh, you do sports too?
You do the sports.
All right. This is a shot of what happens after the action is over.
Yes.
So the action just happened. Usually in sports, you kind of want to get an action shot. This is also, there's something else going on, is that you've cropped this so close to the player that the whole shot looks boxed in. Right, you need to have room to move, so another inch out to the right in front of the player would help, but you're still faced with the same issue, and that is, this is a shot after the action has already taken place. He's just looking to see what happened. This is like a golf shot, where the golfer has swung, the ball has left, and you're just looking, where does it land? It's the shot after the action.
Yes. Yeah, like in lacrosse, we always make sure the ball is in the scene, so you have the players running after each other, hitting each other, the ball has to be somewhere.
What's the saying, Vanelli? 2 eyes on a ball.
Yes.
There's no ball. If you have the ball on the bat, ball coming off the bat, ball ready to hit the bat, ball hit on the bat is number 1. Ball coming off is number 2. But it's 2 eyes and a ball.
Yep.
We have 1 eye and no ball. All right, the next one is completely underlit.
Yes.
It is, the lighting is coming from below, which makes people look scary. And this is a cute little kid. You don't want to make him look scary. And nothing else about him is scary.
Well, you can see it with the catch light. Look where the catch light's coming from.
Catch light's coming from the bottom half of his eyes.
Yeah, so if they just brought it up just a touch more, then they would have gotten a nice Rembrandt. Because look off just by his nose up in here. The triangle is coming down on the nose instead of up near the eye.
Yep. It's just, I think compositionally it's okay. It seems a little tight, but really the lighting is just not flattering for your subject.
You had a good rule about cropping the head.
Yeah.
Yep. You'd always say,
take a third. Take enough to where you know it was intentional. And this would probably not be bad cropped tight like that, but it's
the lighting
is what's killing you. This last one, and just say it, I took this at a workshop. It was all set up for me.
Yeah, the issue I have here is not the photographer's fault. The model. Look at her eyes.
Yeah.
You want whites on both sides of the eye. So I would have had her move her chin
it would have been
just a little bit more towards the camera. And she's in a plane. Give her a script. Tell her, hey, look, you're in this vintage plane. You're a test pilot. You have no idea if you're going to survive. Give that look of confidence, but yet you're a female. Look, give me that. I'm still a female, but I have that intense passion for flying.
She looks like I'm a model in an airplane.
Exactly.
Yeah. The other thing is, look at the horizon line. The plane it's very crooked. Over here, look at this. It's like, fix that first. That's just a minor technical thing. But I'm with Vanelli. She doesn't look like a pilot. She looks like okay, I'm a model and I'm supposed to put this stuff on. But this looks like it was done at a workshop or like a photo group meetup, because I doubt that the photographer that took this on their own set up this.
Exactly.
And I don't mean that in a bad way,
Yeah,
but
just look at the costumes, the props.
Yeah, this took a lot of effort and pre-planning and all, and this took zero. So I just don't think that the same photographer set this up. And they do this. There are a lot of groups, even here in Florida, over in Kissimmee, where they hire models to dress up in period. What's it called? Period authentic, or no? There's a word for it, but they're dressed in that time period. And they pose with old planes or old cars, and they look really great, but it's all set up by somebody else. Like the models were arranged, the outfits were arranged, the whole nine thing was arranged, and you walk up and take the shot.
Because you did that at Photoshop World one year.
Yeah, we have, in fact, we did an aviator thing one year.
And I got an email from somebody who said to me, hey, I took this photo at Photoshop World, I can't believe they're not letting me sell it for stock. And I said, wait a second, did you hire the model? No. Did you do the styling? No.
Do you have a model release? No.
Were you the monkey that just took the picture? Well, yeah. Well, then how can you show that to your client and say, hey, I could reproduce this? It's a reference. If they did all of this, if they hired the makeup artist, the stylist, and the prop, now it's their photo.
This is practice.
Yes.
This is a practice photo that somebody else set up for you. And if you represent this as this is my work, that's not your work. You can't do this. Somebody else did it. You just walked up and took a picture, but it's great practice. It is wonderful practice.
The processing, he did very good with the processing.
Yeah.
He or she did very good with the processing part of it. I liked it. Like I said, I would have just had put a little dirt on the model's face, have the model turn just a little bit, acting.
Throw a pelican in there that can fly. Anyway,
feathers everywhere.
But I don't think you have any. These are all easy things to fix. I mean, you're obviously still doing a pretty good job. So I don't want to come down too hard on you. And there's nothing wrong with sharing a picture that you took at a workshop.
Yeah.
But
and it's cheaper too. I mean, if a group of people get together and say, "Hey, I want to build on my portfolio. How about we pitch in?"
But that's when a group of people come together to make one person's vision. This is more likely. Now, I'm making some, assumptions. Thank you. I'm making some assumptions, but I've been doing this long enough to know that's a workshop picture. So I'm thinking I'm probably pretty warm on this. All right. When we come back, coming up next, we've got more images. We've got some comments. We've got some questions. We have other stuff. And, of course, we have giveaways coming up as well and another story. So stick around. We'll be right back. We're live on the grid with Vanelli.
Hi, folks. Scott Kelby here. I want to tell you about an email I got, an angry email. So it's angry because the subject line says, Mr. Kelby. First, anytime somebody calls me Mr. Kelby, you're in trouble. Mr. Kelby, I'm so mad at you. That's what the subject line was. I'm like, oh, great. So I go read it, and he's like, Mr. Kelby, I saw your class on photo books, and I went and made a photo book, and I'm just so upset because now I've made 34 photo books, and you've got me hooked on these. And I went, whew. But that's how it is with photo books. I mean, think about this. All right, we have the shooting part, which is very creative, right? And then we have the editing part, which can be fun and creative. When you start making photo books, you're adding a third leg to this chair. Now you've got this other thing where you're the photo editor. You decide which photos make the book, how big they are, what goes on the left, what goes on the right. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And Adobe made some changes. Now you can lay out pages any way you want. You can just, literally, it's like free transform. You can just make the photo whatever size you want. You can have multiple photos. They can overlap one another. You can have grids of 9, 15. You don't have to have a grid at all. You can just design it. I wanted to do a class that takes you from beginning to end, and I'm going to show you how to make it so fast that you'll be able to focus on just the fun. And when you hand somebody that photo book and they get it in their hands and they're going to be like, you did this? This is your photography? They're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away. You're going to have a great, great time doing it. And the whole thing is self-contained right here in Lightroom Classic. If you want to learn a whole bunch about doing photo books and you'll be able to follow along right with me and do your photo book right that same time, go watch my class. It's called Creating Beautiful Photo Books in Lightroom Classic, and it's exclusively at Kelby One.
When you need a tripod that is compact, that is portable enough to take with you anywhere, one that is adaptable to any situation, that will prove versatile enough for any shoot, and is compatible with your other gear, giving you freedom to create your own perspective. Look no further. Platypod Ultra does it all. Visit platypod.com for more info.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we're back. It's me and Vanelli. It's me and Vanelli. Hey, what did I want to tell you? Oh, we got some questions. We got some comments. I do want to mention, so we're giving away something else today. We're giving away my brand new book, The Landscape Book. Now, there's a sad story here, and I wrote about it on my blog on Monday. So it was supposed to be delivered to everyone and in bookstores last week. And I'm on the tarmac waiting, getting ready to taxi out for my flight. My phone rings. We had not closed the forward boarding door yet. And it was my editor, Ted. And Ted's like, I got bad news. So about 30% of my book had streaks through the pages.
Oh, man.
The printer admitted it was a mistake and admitted it was unacceptable, but they have to reprint the entire book. Now, the good news is they stopped it from bookstores. They stopped it. It didn't go to Amazon. It didn't go to Barnes & Noble. It didn't go to anyone. They basically just stopped it. They reprinted it last weekend, but it has to be, bound, finished, and then shipped by truck. Oh, that's an interesting camera angle. Then shipped by truck to bookstores. So it was supposed to have been out last week, and now it looks like maybe by the end of next week, best case scenario. So that's it. There it is. There's my blog post. I have good news and I have bad news about my landscape photography book. So, although we are going to give away a signed copy today of the actual print book, now it is available in Kindle, like for your iPad or whatever.
Okay. I love Kindle.
Yeah, I do too. But I mean, I like print as well. But anyway, most of my books sadly are on Kindle. But no, I don't mean like my books. I mean the books that I buy. I like to be on a plane and
exactly
right. So anyway, there's without carrying a book. So that's the story on my book. We're giving one away, but you'll have to wait for a few weeks for it to actually arrive. That was one thing. What else do we have? Photoshop World. It is not too late to come. You know who's teaching at Photoshop World? Vanelli, Big V, Vanelli. Man, what are you doing? Lighting? Probably lighting.
Yeah, well, I'm doing the dramatic portrait.
Hey, can we show his?
Yeah.
Can we show his dramatic portrait? So he's teaching a class on the dramatic portrait.
So dramatic portrait for everyday people.
For everyday people. Dramatic portraits for everyday people. Can you make
these
them
were
bigger? There we go.
So none of these were models. So these remember, I always went out to eat all the time.
Yeah.
So I would talk to a waitress or friends of mine and have their children model.
That's a neat shot. That's me, right?
This is my
me
trainer
modeling for him.
The Crown series, I absolutely love that TV series on Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. So I recreated it.
Oh, that's very nice.
One light feathered.
Very nice. Nice feathering.
This is part of my Assassin series.
A little bit of compositing.
Yep. All this was a simple blind on a C-stand and a black backdrop.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, I had my buddy here, Roberto, act out craziness. And I think that's it.
All right.
Yep,
well,
that's
you'll be teaching some lighting at Photoshop World, but we got all kinds of cool stuff at Photoshop World. So N. Robbins Photo says 14 days to Photoshop World. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. It is not too late to go if you want to go to Orlando, which is May 30th. Starts May 30th in Orlando at the Hyatt Regency. If you want to go to Vegas instead, we're going to be in Las Vegas at the Mirage Resort and Casino. And that is proving to be a very popular Photoshop World. And that's in the end of August. So I hope you'll come and join us. All the heavy hitters are there, all the big names. And so, come out and I think you will really enjoy it. So,
And what's neat, it's not what happens during the classes, after the classes. People can walk around and they meet up with people and meet up with some of the.
See, that looks like you.
In fact, that was the one where Cabasi and I sit off when we were in Mandalay Bay. We'd sit off to the side and he'd whip out like a magazine and then we'll start critiquing looks, and people will sit with us for, a couple hours, and we just do a little impromptu.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen like spontaneous like that at Photoshop World. There's a lot of neat stuff. The instructors are very accessible, except for Vanelli, who's very aloof. But everyone else is really nice. Hey, Ray says, ask the question, hey, Scott, let's talk about the latest Canon rumors of a new camera coming out soon. Any info at all? I got nothing, Ray. I will say that I saw the same rumors, that they're talking about maybe a mirrorless APC camera coming out in maybe August. Now, there's been the long-standing rumor that there's going to be a pro version of their mirrorless coming out this year. So far they've been doing kind of consumer versions, and this would be their pro one. But you're a Nikon guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Nikon's got some nice mirrorlesses.
They do.
Z7 and the C6, very nice.
I'm still shooting with the D810.
Dude, you got to get a D850.
And I'm still shooting with a D750 for sports.
Okay, spin those and get an 850. Dude, I don't know a single person that have an 850 doesn't love it. Anyway, but I'm a Canon shooter. So anyway, I really don't have any information. It's not like I know. It's one thing if I have information and can't tell you. I don't have any information. I'm reading the same rumor boards you're reading. So I got nothing. So,
and you're a consumer too. If you're like what I heard from you on a couple parts where you said, hey, here's my camera. I decided to sell that to get this one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're a consumer. Because most people think we get all this stuff for free.
Yeah.
And it's like,
no, we don't. We get some stuff for free, like meals, a lot of meals. We get a lot of free vouchers. We get vouchers. But companies will go.
And I also noticed
have a burger on me tonight.
Yeah. Well, I haven't used Nikon glass in a while.
Yeah.
I'm using Tamron quite a bit. Sigma for portraits.
Yeah. What are you using the Sigma? What's their series?
85.
No, what's their series?
The Art.
The Art series.
The Art series.
Art series lenses. Yeah. I don't know. No, Sigma hates me, so I have no idea. I'm a Tamron guy, and I have a lot of Tamron lenses, and at the house I use a 28 to 300 Tamron, which is that's a great range. And
for sports,
I did get to they're 15 to 30.
Oh my Lord!
I love that lens, but they gave it to me for like a week. Like, you want to try a super wide angle lens? Yes, I'd love to. And so, you know why people say, why don't you talk very much about the Tamron? Because they don't have it anymore. It's gone.
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, when you have it and you're using it on a regular basis, you know everything about it. And when you only have it for a short time, it's hard to keep doing critiques of it.
Yep.
But that Nikon, the Tamron 70 to 200, the 2.8 for sports.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord! It was just.
Hey, speaking of critiques, so we're supposed to time these. I forgot. When Eric's not here, the place falls apart. So give me 2.5 minutes, and we're gonna crank through these. All right.
And start.
Go. All right. So landscapey stuff, and we don't know who these people are. Right? They're called blind critiques because we don't know who took them. All right. This is pretty light, but I don't know what to tell you. There's not a really clear subject. It's just kind of, I don't know. This one's, I think, is a little weak. This is nice.
Like the reflection.
I would have been a little nicer a little earlier in the day, but the light's not too bad, so it looks like it wasn't shot in terrible light. I do like the reflection. I like the composition. The sky doesn't have a whole lot of clouds or anything, but it's not bad. I like the way this one's composed better. They're all okay. There's nothing bad here.
But there's nothing that
jumps out at you. So one thing that might help is so this is good light, but it's not really clear. Like
what's your focus?
There's not a clear subject. You know what I mean? It's just so if you answer, well, it's just the scene. That's not it. Then there's this. This is better, and I like the composition, but the light isn't as great. So take the light from this, shoot it for this, and then even the light for this isn't bad. But there does seem to be kind of a white glow behind everything at the land level, right behind all the rocks. There's kind of a white glow.
Yeah. Maybe if they tried shooting at different angles.
Yeah,
just to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This is none of these are bad, but none of these are awesome. So keep working at it. So there you go. You gotta. keep working.
And not to mention, I mean, so some of these are, hey, I couldn't be there, so inspire me to want to go.
Yeah, that's the great thing about landscapes or travel. If you see a picture and you go, oh my gosh, I want to go. None of those made me think, I got to go there. It was just kind of like, all right, take a look. This is kind of interesting. You got some nice leading lines.
Nice.
I like the black and white.
Good use of shutter speed.
Yeah, it's good post. This is a little small. Can I open it in camera raw? There we go. That's a little better. This is kind of just a flat. I don't know if it's the post-processing or the time of day that you shot it, but it's kind of a flat shot. It's just, you know what it looks like? I was in New Jersey, and I shot across the lake, or across the river, and there's Manhattan.
Well, a reference photo.
Yeah, it's a reference photo. I was there that day, and here's what it looks like. This is like the Wikipedia photo. It's not particularly artistic. It's kind of flat. The whole image is kind of It's kind of flat. So maybe a better time of day. The black and white isn't helping you here. And
Overprocessed.
it is overprocessed, and it's also just kind of... Now, if you were doing it for the cathedral and they wanted to see their name and all, that's kind of okay. I don't know. There's just not much going on here. It's kind of...
I'm not sure if it's at the angle.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. So this one, you're working it. You got the horizon line in the right place. You got pretty good post-processing. You picked an interesting subject. This is kind of and this is kind of I think there's a good shot at the cathedral. I'm not sure this is it. So keep searching here. This is really vacation photo. Do more of this. All right, let's take another quick look at another one. We're not even having to get through 2.5 minutes. We're zipping. Let's see what we have here. Well, that's a lovely reflection. You know what really made this? Some clouds in that sky. The color's great, but without having clouds, it's...
So, yeah, but you brought up a long time ago, you would say, hey, if there's nothing interesting in the sky, well, then
show less of it.
Yeah, lower it down.
Yeah, so this horizon line is kind of in the opposite place. So since there's nothing going on in the sky, you would put the horizon line up, and then you're going to go, ooh, reflection. Yeah. Your horizon line's almost in the middle, which is not an awesome place, but nice color. So I'm giving you some credit on you shot it at the right time.
Okay, now that.
All right.
Yeah, that I like much
You
better.
were so close to having a great shot here because you didn't take an ND filter. It looks like you just shot it at f/22, which gets you a little bit of motion in the water, or gets you a little bit of smoothing, but not enough. So, and you're down lower.
Yeah.
I would go lower with your composition, and definitely a 10-stop ND where your shutter's open for 6 minutes, and you'd make that water really misty, and maybe a 10 and a 3, so you're open for 14 minutes, and it looks like just there's the beginnings of a great shot here. The ND would have really fixed it.
And then on that one, but like you said, the person went lower.
Yep.
Then the rocks here would break the horizon.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. This is good. This is good because you've got great clouds, which is luck, but it's still your horizon line's still a little too close, and this thing over here, this one post sticking up on the left, and that it's drawing you over there. And the reason why it's drawing you over there is look at the image. Everything kind of right to it, and it's an ugly big stick coming in from the side. Get rid of the big stick. But can I show you something? Now let me see if this is going to work. I can't swear that this is going to work, but let's just try this. All right, maybe it's going to work. Give it a second. We're going to open old Photoshop or Rooney. Hang on, that was something I was doing earlier. Okay. I closed the wrong photo. Nicely done. Well done there. I didn't want to close this. That was a mistake. Hang on. Now, this is just, I'm trying this live. I don't know if how great this is going to come out. But if you had these clouds.
I was just about to ask you.
On this shot. Now, this is going to take a little doing here. First, I got to blend it in. Let's find a blend mode that makes it work.
And I was about to ask you, I have a whole collection of clouds. Some people frown on bringing clouds into photos.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I used to. I've kind of gotten over that because I realized I'm the last person in the world not doing it, and I felt like a moron. All right, so I'm going to just lower these a little bit. Then you have to, of course, flip those for the reflection.
Sweet.
So when you add the clouds to basically any shot, it just it takes it up that next notch. And
Yes.
while these clouds are not the clouds that were there, and it doesn't look right, but I just wanted to kind of show why this is so important. So all that does actually count. Hey, Mark Heaps says, I love my D850. Vanelli, get rid of that D8. By the way, the D810 is it's like a landscape camera, and you're shooting portraits. You get a D850. I need you to have that. All right. John Swartz. Hey, John. Says, Scott, the 31st is my birthday. Bring cake to Orlando.
Well, you know what you could do?
Okay.
Well, John, he can come with us to after Midnight Madness.
Yeah, after Midnight Madness, we go out, John, and we get burgers. Yep. And Vanelli's in charge of finding a burger place. We have not had luck with that in the past.
Oh, shoot. I just realized something.
What?
I need to get my Adobe stock account up, because if I don't, Matt Hayward, I have to grow my hair out. If I don't do it before Photoshop World, that was our deal.
Dude, if you grew your hair out, nobody would know. All right. Linny. Hi, Lynn Hughes. Lynn says, hi, Scott. Hi, Vanelli.
Hey, Lynn.
All right. Coming up next, we got more images to go through. And we have more fun with Vanelli's hair. Thanks for the irrelevant comment there in the middle of all that.
Oh, my God.
We'll be back. It's Vanelli time. Take your Valium.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Grid by subscribing to Apple's podcast app or iTunes. It's free, and we even have a special audio-only version, too. So sign up today.
Hey, everybody, we're back. Scott and Vanelli. Hey, Vanelli, what are you doing?
You know, this isn't fair. I'm always laughing when we come back
Yeah.
because of all the stuff he says to me
Yeah, on the
before
breaks,
the
I'm
camera.
just on the breaks and going, hey, Vanelli, Vanelli, what are you doing? All right. Hey, I got an announcement. This is big. Well, I don't know if it's big. It's big if you live in Chicago or the Detroit metropolitan area.
Detroit.
Those are my next two cities for my brand new tour, the Ultimate
wow.
Photography Crash Course. So go to kelby1live.com. I'm coming there in July. So in July, I'm going to that place.
Okay, I got to ask, just briefly, what are you teaching in those classes?
What am I teaching? I've got a class on landscape photography. It starts the day off. Then we got a class on 10 things I wish I'd learned earlier about photography. I got a class on shooting tack sharp images, which is really surprising. A lot of people have raved about that part of the day. I've got a class on how to shoot people, and you know what I mean. Not bad stuff, good stuff. Mostly natural light, but then we do some flash stuff. And then we wrap up the day with photo recipes where I look at all the current looks and how to create them. Some post, some, but every class has post-processing. Like every class has a part of it that is either Lightroom or Photoshop. So it's a fun day. And I'm so happy to hear how every time you launch a new tour and you think, I'm putting together this ultimate class, you want it to rock. And I'm reading all the evaluations, I'm like, because it really,
well, it's
it
good
went
you're going
over
back
great.
to your roots. The
My
foundations.
My roots. All right, one more thing. So I'm coming to Chicago and Detroit. I hope you'll come out in July. It's going to be a great, great day. The other thing is, I'd never mentioned the website for the World Modeling Convention. We were talking about it earlier and how awesome it's going to be and how Vanelli's going to find someone to stay with in London. Here's the address. If you look on my screen, it is WMC London. So that's the World Modeling Convention in London. Piotr, I think you're in London. You have to be there. I think you said you're going to be there already online. I think I saw that someplace. And let's see what else. WMC London. Go. It's going to be, I think it's going to be really, really good. I'm speaking on the 16th. I'm doing a class on retouching portraits. I got some really good stuff to share. So I'm very excited and honored to be there. Joe McNally will be there, so that's always nice. Charles Putnam asks, are there any thoughts on Adobe's price increase test a couple of weeks ago? Yes, I have a thought. Charles, I think they failed the test, and I don't think you're going to see them raise the price anytime soon. I think they were testing the waters, and I think the waters bit back. I think it was shark-filled. I think it was, I don't see them, the outcry was far and wide, and I'm not giving you any inside information. No one at Adobe told me they aren't or aren't. I would be very surprised to see a price come. But I just would say this is unrelated to that. At some point, they're going to raise the price. It's going to go up. I would hope it would be like, it's $10 now. Maybe it goes to 12, something like that. I don't know. I have no idea, but I think it would be hopefully an incremental upgrade. But I don't think people realize, it's been 6 years since the photography plan was introduced. What do you know that has an increased price in 6 years? Nothing. Everything's gone up. I mean, seems like right now a lot of things are going up. Food? Oh my gosh, restaurant food is ridiculous.
Well, it depends on which restaurant you go to.
No, I don't go to fancy restaurants, Vanelli. Like Chili's is one of my favorite restaurants. But you go to Ruby Tuesdays and you have to fill out a loan application before you go to the salad bar. It's ridiculous. All right, let's get to some images.
Loan application.
I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. All right, V.
All right.
Here we go. Some portraits. I'll let you see all three first.
Now, is this from the same person?
Yeah, these are all the same people.
Oh, okay.
All three. 2 portraits and a plane. Did you ever see that movie, 2 Portraits and a Plane? No, that wasn't it. Hang on. See if I can make them bigger. Nope, that's as big as they're getting. Can I tell you something about this picture? I'm not even going to talk about anything else that's wrong with it, because there's plenty. But I would say this. This looks like it was cut out of another picture. Like there's somebody with her, maybe it's a family shot, a group shot, and you cut it out to where you can't see the, like there's a boyfriend and girlfriend and you broke up and you cut out the girl picture. And the boyfriend's cut out. All right, but outside of that, I'll let Vanelli take it from here.
Yeah, again, it's what story are you telling her? It's okay, it's a pretty girl. Here's a photo of it. That's it. There's nothing. Again, it's a reference. It's a reference. Hey, here I was at this age in my life. It's not screaming at you.
There's not any engagement with the camera. She's kind of giving, as Peter would say, giving you nothing. It's split lighting, which is fine for a movie, but like the lighting is split. Half of her face is in shadows, half of her face is lit. And it's cropped. Yeah. So it's cropped really tight without being cropped right.
Yeah.
It's bad lighting, cropping.
Split lighting is great, like you said, for dramatic effect or for like a cinematic look.
Yeah.
For this, you want more of a beauty look.
This
Yeah.
is an adorable little kid. Super adorable snapshot that I'm sure that his parents and friends would love.
Yeah, move him away from
The dappled
tree.
light and the
Yeah.
tree growing out of the side of his head. These are, you know what it is? These are snapshots. That's a snapshot you took with your iPhone. So is this. And so is this. These are all shots you take with your cell phone. They're just snapshots. You really, here's what I think your issue is beyond lighting and beyond that is you need to go look at portraits of kids. Go to 500px and type in, portraiture of children. Actually, go watch Tracy Sweeney's class on photographing siblings and photographing kids. Go see Tamara Lackey's. Yeah, we have a lot of classes. Of course, I am promoting Kelby One, but since this class is this whole grid is from Kelby One, I guess it's okay. But I would say, yeah, let's. You gotta have a reference point of what you're trying to create. These are literally, and I don't mean this to be bad, but I got to be honest with you. These are just snapshots. These are not photographs. They're not portraits. They're just snapshots of friends and family. And you got a long way to go here. But I'm gonna give you the first step. Go look at what a real portrait of kids is supposed to look like. Just go to 500px and type in children and you'll see great shots. Immediately you're gonna go, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to have, that's what I'm supposed to be going for? Well, that's way different than what I'm shooting. It's everything. You gotta work on composition, you gotta work on lighting, you gotta work on connection, you gotta work on expression, you gotta work on location, you gotta work on light, everything. It's everything.
And that's creating the shot. So
Yeah.
this here is taking the shot. Cabesi was the one who turned me onto that. Here's taking the shot. Well, now to create the shot, that's when you bring in the lights, the wardrobe, the outfit, just building it up.
Yeah, you got a lot of work to do here. But, I guess that's why you send in the images to see where you stand. Where you stand is start by looking and figuring out what are my shots supposed to look like, and that'll get you going. All right, let's cruise on. All right, I'll take you through all three here, V, and then you can hear us 1, 2, 3.
Okay. The lighting on here, again, it's coming in flat, coming in straight in. There's not really any excitement in the eyes.
Well, I think she's trying to look sexy.
Yeah.
It's
The hand look, well, I mean, from the technical side of it, look at the color of her hand versus her face. It's blown out over here.
You look at her elbow on the other side. See, that's all I can see is that elbow. Like when I look at this photo, your eye's drawn to the brightest thing in the photo. What's the brightest thing?
Elbow and
Her
hand.
elbow. And then her hand. Her hand's 2 stops brighter than her
Yeah.
face.
So before you even get to that part, and again, it's just taking time just to get her to relax, ready to turn away. Now look at the camera go. More natural. This looks posed.
It does look very posed. I do want to give you credit on one thing, that the lighting on her face is fairly nice and soft.
Yes.
But you know what it is? So when Vanelli and I are talking about flat lighting, what we're really talking about is what creates depth and dimension in a portrait is lighting from the side, right? When you light from the front, right, it is very flat look. Now there's times where lighting from the front is great. If someone's got a lot of wrinkles and stuff on their face, when you light from the front, you don't see those. When you light from the side, it accentuates them. She's a very young woman. You should be able to light from the side. And honestly, guys, think about this. Probably 95% of portraiture, the light is at a 45-degree angle. In reality, that's where everybody puts their light. Why do they always put their light at 45-degree angle? Because it's the most flattering spot. It's the number one place you put light for flattering light. Now, if you're shooting a football player, you're probably not going to put it there.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing a beauty look, it's going to go right in front. But in this case, you've managed to keep the light soft on her, but there's not depth and dimension.
Exactly. That's where the
kinda
shadow
missing. Yep.
adds that depth and dimension.
Now here you have the depth dimension, but you've got a very unflattering pose on your subject. That is
The shadow on the arm coming down.
Yeah, looks like her stomach is sticking out. It's an awkward pose, and I think this is because of the lens that you're using. You're using a wide-angle lens. You're like being mean to your subject here.
Yeah.
It's distorting. You're distorting her body and her nose and everything. Anything that's near the edges. So look at her chest or her décolletage. That looks fine. Anything that gets near it. Now look how big her hand is on the left. It's distorted because you used a wide angle lens.
Yeah.
So one of the things I talk about on my new tour, I tell people, until you're really advanced, do not use a wide angle lens to shoot people, because you really got to know what you're doing. Yes, Joe McNally uses a wide angle lens to shoot people, but you're not Joe McNally. Stick away from that. Really, you want to make people look their best? Use a lens that flatters them. Don't use a lens that distorts their body. The lighting is okay, but everything else here is bad. Like, you are just not, it's a mean thing to do to her. And the closer any part of her gets to the edge, the worse it gets. This is the best shot of the bunch by far.
Yeah, yes. Again, just to bring her chin up just a touch would balance out the eyes a little bit more. And the right choice of f-stop, because again, you're focusing on her, and then it slowly blurs off to the back.
There also is a bit of a white balance issue here.
Yeah.
If you look, her hair is blue. And you could say, well, she has blue hair, except for her black pants have the same blue. White balance cover. Look, people don't look good with a blue tint unless you said, Scott, I put a cross-processing effect, in which case you should not have put a cross-processing effect, because it looks like you have maybe blues in the shadows and then yellows in the highlights. It does look like maybe
Color cast.
It's not this. It doesn't work for this image. There are images where applying a cross-processing effect looks great. This is the best one. It's the most flattering for her because her face looks nice. The shadows are okay. You can see where the light is by looking in her eyes. It's high up above, aiming down, and that's why you have a little shadows on the other side of her face. You actually have a nice lighting pattern on her face. This is the lighting pattern you should be using. Up and to the right and at a 45-degree angle, because you can tell that's where it is because you can see the shadows. The cross-processing does not work on this shot, and I think it's because you're on a white background. It's that's hurting.
Yeah, so the loop lighting on that, like you said.
Yeah.
But they did a good job on that part of it.
Yeah, this is the best one of the three. This is far and away the worst one of the three. Don't even show this to anyone, especially to her. And this has potential, but you need a lot of work in post, and it would have been better to just do this right at during the shoot. Just do that. All right, we got a lot more questions. We're going to answer them when we get back. When we come back, we're going to get to your questions because there's lots of stuff there. And what else is there? More pictures coming up with Vanelli.
Image restoration has always been one of the most rewarding things you can do in Photoshop, because it's not just, like fixing a tear, it's more fixing a memory, and then you present it to either a family member or a client, and they just look at it and, their eyes filled with tears or whatever it is. It's just, of anything I've done in Photoshop, it's by far the most rewarding. In this course, you'll learn how to deal with many of the common problems like faded black and white photographs, faded color, tears, rips, unwanted elements like tape and writing. We'll even talk about how to deal with missing body parts. If you need to fix someone's face or replace a hand, you can just borrow it from another photograph. Back in the old days, many photographs were tiny like this, so the challenge is, how on earth do you take something like this and turn it into an 8x10 photograph? So we'll talk about how to calculate the correct resolution so it's easy to take a small photograph and make it big. It's definitely a skill that takes some time to learn and really get good at it. And once you do, then it becomes a skill you can share with other people and repair the photographs for other families and help them restore their memories as well. Generations to come will look at these photographs and go, wow, that was taken in 1902 and it looks pretty darn good. If you want to learn key techniques to bring life back into old photos, please join me for my new class on image restoration only on kelby1.com.
I found that there are common questions that come up in how to start a sports photography business. Not just how to take the pictures, but how to do the business of it in order to get published and hopefully make a career out of it and be paid. And we'd bring an audience in and they would ask their questions, I will answer them, and we will see if we can get to the bottom of how to make a living in sports photography. I think what the audience will get out of this class is a better understanding of sort of the progressions from shooting like youth to high school to college to the pros, and then actually starting to use some lighting as well and move into the commercial sector of the industry. There's a repetitive pathway in all of this that I think will be very valuable to people in learning how to better conduct their business or even start a business in sports photography. Come join me at my new class on kelby1.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Hi, everybody. Scott Vanelli. We are back. Got some questions coming in. Johan says, what do you think of the new Lightroom update? Well, there's not a whole lot in it in the new Lightroom update for Lightroom Classic, but they do have a new texture slider. This is yesterday's update. If you go to lightroomkillertips.com, which is the website that I run, Lightroom Killer Tips, over there, Rob Sylvan did a nice thing yesterday. Rob writes a column on my blogo, and he wrote a very nice, real nice coverage of all the new features. But the texture feature is nice because the texture slider, it can either do kind of portrait retouching in that it can make your skin soft and nice, or it can make your skin really gritty. So if you have a guy and you want like a picture of you and you want you to see every pore and all, it's great if you drag it to the right. If you're trying to make someone's skin softer, drag it to the left. I think the texture slider is going to be a big, big hit. That's the main thing. And there's some other little things they fixed. They did add tethering for the Lightroom EOS R. Not coincidentally, it was a coincidence that it came out right when I bought mine, but yeah. So it wasn't like, hey, Scott, you got an EOS R, we'll do an update. Yeah, it wasn't like that. But anyway, so it did add support some lenses, but that was a big thing for me because I love the EOS R, so that's it. I didn't buy it as my studio camera. I bought it as my travel, landscape, walk around, do everything, portrait lens, but in the studio, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to tether. All right, Brian asked, what do you got? Oh, Brian asked, what do you think of the new texture slider? Okay, sorry, I just answered that. Kevin says, is the new live tour geared more to beginners? Yeah, Kevin, that's why I called it a crash course, because you wouldn't be taking a crash course if you were advanced. It really is most of the people that come there have been, shooting a couple of years or a year or so, and they want to move up to that next level quick, so they want to accelerate it. Oh, Darlene said, I love the photography crash course in Indianapolis. Thank you, Darlene. So Darlene was there. Thank you, Darlene. I appreciate that very much. And Cheeky Nando says, a Kelby One subscription. It didn't increase, did it? That's like him saying in the last 6 years. Yeah. Nope, it has not.
I was going to say that.
In fact, I think it is cheaper now than it was 6 years ago. We used to be $249, and then it came down. That's for the pro, like that's for your serious user. It was $249, and it's $199. So it did come down actually in the last 6 years. So that's a good thing. Plus, we had the $99 pro, the plus plan. So everything's come down. That's good. But everything else has gone up. So like everything, like Vanelli food. Vanelli eats a very special kind of food that you only get at pet stores, and it's become more expensive. Let's look at some more photos. What do you think, V? Tell you what, I love this shot. Love it, love it, love it. V and I just looked at it right before we went on the air, and we're like, ooh, come on, that is a beautiful portrait of a dog. Soft lighting. Look, they lit the dog right. Yes. If they light the dog right, you can light people right. Look, it's up high. That's beautiful, subtle. I love it. Lighting. I'm not a cat picture fan, but I like this one. I think this is nicely done. It's beautiful light on the cat. You have depth and dimension in the shadows. And the cat's kind of it's well composed too. I like this shot. It is not on the level of this. This is like a master portrait. And this is your cat on a bench. Such a cute cat. But not like this. And then there's this. It's a profile shot. It's not as lit as well as this one.
Yeah, so so here, like you said, the white on the dog's fur brings this out. It just makes it look, like you said, like a master portrait. That's incredible. The other shot here would have been better if they added another light behind them. Because they're taking the lighting setup for the one and applying it to this. And in this case here, you can't.
Yeah, it looks a little flat. I would try to get maybe the dog in a better position like this. But this is just gorgeous. This is like, my hat's off to you. This is well done. This is not bad, but I think you can do better because I saw you do this one. So good job, though. Hey, David just mentioned, he said, texture's great. I'm liking it for landscapes. Totally agreed. I only showed it in the context of portraits, and that's not correct because it brings out texture in anything. So it's fine for travel or landscapes or whatever. It just brings out, it enhances texture, and it does a good job. It's good. Sandy says, how many cameras does Scott have? I don't have that many. I have well, now I would say my main camera is the EOS R mirrorless. My backup camera, or whatever I want to use it for, is a 5D Mark IV, both Canon. And then I have two 1DXs that I use for sports. So those are specifically for sports. I don't use them for anything else. They're big, heavy sports cameras. That's it. Okay. But by the way, I didn't go out and buy them all in one day. This happened over many years. Like I just bought the EOS R, so I had 3 cameras, so.
And then you do sell, like the ones you're not using, you sell off.
Yeah, I sell them. I just sold one on eBay. All right, let's take a look. We got some good shots here. Lots of bar. Lots of bar.
Interesting.
That's 2 bars. Fighting over a salmon. All right, let me just see if I can make these bigger. Ooh, I can. Boy, these are so crisp. Yeah, I really like this one, and I really like this one. This one of I missed the fish isn't quite nearly as exciting, but I mean you're doing a nice job. I mean it's very, you know what it is, you're in tight. We've seen pictures of bears from a distance. When you show pictures really close like this, it's really fascinating. I think this is really interesting and nicely done. Good exposure, good composition. That's really good. It might be a little tad heavy on the sharpening. It might be a little over sharpened. I think this one you got away with the over sharpening, maybe.
Because everything is wet, yeah.
This one's I think you went a little too far either with the clarity or a luminar effect or something. It's a little punchy.
Yeah, drop it back down just a touch.
All right. John Swartz asks, a better question is, how many guitars does Scott have? I now have an official number, 43. I have 43 guitars.
I took a picture of the ones hanging in your office.
Yeah, I
sent
have
it to my son.
19 in my office. We have some scattered throughout the offices, and at home I have all the rest. So I have lots of guitars.
Oh, God.
All right. But good job. I like this photographer. I like what they're doing. I like their subject matter. I think it's just nicely done. Yay on you.
Did you see the other comment
We
there,
already
Scott?
saw that. Oh, Mike Cabasi. Hey, Mike. Hey, Hollywood. He says, Vanelli eating sushi. I don't even know what that is a reference to. Oh, the bear is Vanelli eating sushi. That's just mean. Okay. Here we go. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I think it started off really strong. Now, you could say this is kind of the cliched photo, but I like it. It's really well composed. It's a silhouette where a lot of people make the mistake in silhouettes in that you look at the silhouette and you have to figure out what it is. This is very clear exactly what's going on. I think it's good. I like it. I like the color. I think it's just a nice shot all the way around. I mean, it's not like blowing your socks off, but that's a nice shot. This is an interesting perspective. Maybe I don't know what we're seeing.
It looks like you're in a mall or a hotel shooting down into the courtyard.
Yeah.
The escalators.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Meh. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not making you go, woo, 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 woo.
And again, I'm not quite sure where. Maybe move the horizon line up more.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We can nitpick it. It's really pretty good. It's just not awesome. It's just kind of a scene. I'm not really. It's nice clouds. It's shot at the right. I think everything technically is good here. It's just kind of at the end of the day, it's just not awesome. Now, would this look nice on a canvas behind your couch? Yeah, I think it would look really nice. I mean, I like panos, but it's just not light me on fire. Maybe it's in the mood I'm in, but I'm in a pretty good mood today because Vanelli's here, and that makes everyone happy. He's like, Vanelli's what happens when you hit a piñata and candy just pops out. It's just a joy. So that's the way everyone is here when Vanelli's around. He spreads joy like candy. But so maybe it's just maybe I'm in a funky mood. It's not bad. There's nothing technically wrong with it. And I think
Looks like a hotel photo.
But I think this is an accomplished photographer. You're just keep doing what you're doing. Always looking for interesting stuff is good. Alenka asked the question, Scott, what was your main reason for switching to the EOS R from the Mark IV? Well, I still have the Mark IV, and I'll still use the Mark IV for some things, so I didn't sell it. I think there's some features on that camera that so it has basically the same sensor. So just let's figure we'll start with it's a Mark IV. But then it has a fully articulating touchscreen in the back. That fully articulating touchscreen is big. I shoot a lot with my Platypod, right? I have to take a lot of test shots and pick up the camera and see if it's okay. If I could tip that screen up and see it, for me, that's a huge thing. I also shoot a lot of long exposures. The long exposure feature is so brilliant. I did a video from Venice of how it works. The long exposure stuff is awesome. What it is, and I have a control ring that I can assign. So like I can assign this control ring to be anything. I assign mine to be exposure compensation.
Oh, interesting.
So while I'm shooting, and I already have my hand there, I don't have to take a finger or move anything. I can just do that. On the back, there's a touch slider. And you can assign this touch slider to be whatever you want. So here's what I do. If I tap the left, it sets my ISO immediately at 100. If I tap the right, it jumps it to 1600. If I want something in between, I can slide my finger. That stuff, anything that makes your photography easier, I'm not having to mess so much with stuff. I like the electronic viewfinder. Now I will tell you, when I tried that camera out, I had it for 60 days. Canon loaned me some of their lenses. Those lenses are sharp on a level, like I'm not sure I've ever used lenses that sharp and incredible. I didn't buy any of those. The lenses I want to buy are still coming. Like they've said they're going to do, I think they said, if not, it's a rumor site that says they're going to do a 70-200. But it's not going to be a big, giant 70-200.
Yeah.
It's a short little 70-200. I am so going to buy that. I don't care what it costs. I'm going to sell something and buy that lens. Because really, I'm a two-lens guy. 16-35, 70-200. Those are the two that I use. So, and if those lenses are anywhere near the sharpness of any of the Canon mirrorless lenses I've used, they're going to be legendary. And I think that they are. I think that they're going to be that good. So there was all of those things. So it's the Mark IV that I have with a bunch of features I don't have. So I'm not really getting better quality looking images. I'm getting the same look.
Making your life easier.
But with my life easier and more fun for the kind of shooting that I do. It is a little smaller, it is a little lighter, but not significantly.
And I will go back to the DA10. This young photographer sent me a message. Hey, Deb Sanders just bought the DA10 or D850. When are you switching? And I said, well, are my D810 images looking bad? Am I not shooting?
Yes, they are looking bad.
So I've never, and as much as I love gadgets, I don't know what it is with cameras. I've never been the fanboy that jumps to the next one. That's just not me.
I know it's not you, but it's time for it to be you. Okay, moving right along. Oh, Tara asked, how does the EOS R work with the adapter and old lenses? So far, perfectly, like zero problems. So all I have is old lenses. Now, old lenses, let me just say that. My existing lenses, like my 70-200, my 16-20, I pop them on, it works great. So there you go. Cheeky Nando says the 70-200 is officially announced by Canon to be released this year. So I better do something to raise money for that because I'm getting it. I'm telling you, it comes out, I'll be the first one. I'll be on B&H's waiting list.
Do not sell me on eBay.
Yeah, no. All right, now, as far as working with the adapter, I've used the 70-200, I've used the 16-35, I've used some of my Tamron lenses. I've had zero problem whatsoever with it working with anything. That's just my own experience. And I've used a bunch of different lenses with it. Let's look at a couple more images and we got to wrap. All right, so this is aviation shots. 1, 2, 3. All right, nothing wrong with these shots whatsoever. And nothing great about them either. If you were at the airport and you looked out the window and you saw a 747-400 taxiing, this is the shot you would get. It's not a great sky. The lighting's not bad on it. but it's just cargo jet on the tarmac.
Again, reference.
Here's a Boeing 747, 747-400, just flying with its landing gear down. These are just. I was at the airport and I took some shots. It's not. And when I think of aviation photography, this is plane spotting. Like plane spotting is, I want to get a shot of a 747-400. Ooh, there it is. Click, got it.
Yeah.
Because there are people that's their thing is plane spotting, and they have a checklist and they want to get a picture of all these certain planes. There's just nothing here. And this is, I don't know what this is. This could be a 737.
I'm impressed that you know all the different planes.
I was really a big commercial aviation
Okay.
enthusiast for a long time. I still am. I love the flying. I love all that stuff. This looks like a 737.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the winglets and the shape of the plane.
Yeah.
But it's just a plane in the sky. It's not bad. This is probably the strongest of the three because the clouds are so great.
Silhouette,
But
yeah.
they're kind of just snapshots of planes. I think that you can make amazing shots of commercial airplanes. I don't think these are them. These are just kind of snapshots. Go at 500 px and look and see some really great plane shots, and you're going to go, oh. Plus, planes don't look awesome with their gear down. With the
Yeah.
gear, my buddy Larry Grace, who is so I'm a member of the International Society of Aviation Photography, the ISAP, and one of the things that Larry talks about is it's called clean. When the landing gear's tucked up, he's like, "Ooh, you like them clean?" Like, yeah, I like them clean without the landing gear down. So,
They look sleek.
yeah, this does not look sleek. It looks like a Big Bear, and I love the 747. It's one of my favorite planes. I missed it. It's
I'm
out of
still
service.
impressed. I'm still impressed you know these to that degree.
Well, no, it's if you fly a lot,
Yeah.
So, but I've always been interested in commercial aviation. All right, what do we got? We already looked at that one. There's some black and white. Oh, well, let's just see if we can get them bigger. Hold on. I hope so. There we go. I like the second one,
Yeah.
and I like the third one. These last two I like. They're kind of interesting. This is just nicely composed. I think it's maybe overexposed a bit. I would like to see it maybe a little darker and with a little more contrast. I think if you work this, you could have a really interesting shot here. It needs a little work. You got to lighten it. I mean, I'm just giving you kind of a just real quick. That's not awesome post-processing. That's 30 seconds of post-processing. I think you have a stronger shot there post-processing than you know, but I think a little work, this one could be really good. This one I kind of like. It's very still lifey, and what I like about this is the way that the chair is in the same position, and it's the same chair inside mimicking. This is kind of good. This one, you got to clean up all this junk in the water. I know that it was really there, but it's really distracting. Like you look down here, you're supposed to look at this person on the bridge.
But you're stuck.
And I like the grain. I like that it's kind of noisy. I'm stuck over here. And it's bright. It's the brightest here. I might darken this whole area. Like I might go in, well, first let's get rid of some of the junk. Let me get rid of the junk tool. And get rid of all the junk. Oh, come on, I can't quite get rid of, that thing's, nice job. Anybody that thinks that the tool in Lightroom or Camera Raw that gets rid of junk is any good, it's trash. So you would do this in Photoshop because you can see what the trash garbage job it's doing. Anyway, get rid of all that stuff first. Then go get the adjustment brush, darken this down so that way at least I'll look where I'm supposed to look. This is like nothing bad stuff. And over here too.
And already your eyes be drawn up higher.
Yeah, I wanted my eyes to be drawn over there, not down here. And your reflection actually looks better over here now too. So this way I'm kind of looking over. I want to look at this, and so anyway, I think these are all pretty good. I like your stuff. So Christina wants me to wrap the show because she keeps taking the sign called Move Wrap and just moving it slightly, like animating it, like to catch my attention. We're gonna do one or two more though. We gotta do them quick though. I'm going through quick, but I like your photography. I like where you're going. You're going in the right direction. You're doing lots of good stuff. Keep it up. We're not gonna see that one. Here's one. All right. Oh, let's see if I can open them in Camera Raw. Please, 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 please. Yes. Here we go. I like all three of these because they're composing these really right.
And they're
You got
panning.
wheel spin, you're panning, so you're shooting at a low enough f-stop. Their shutter speed was 1/60th of a second here, 1/200th there. That's pretty good, 1/200th. And another 1/200th here. But look at the wheel spin and the background. And notice, this is very important, they're leaving space in front of the car for it to go someplace. They're not close cropping him. Today, we've seen a lot of what I would call this, where the photos, oh, jeez, I just hit it. This, where the photos feel very boxed in. We've seen a lot of this today, where the photos, I like it a little closer, but they're boxed in. A lot of portraits have felt boxed in. Other shots have felt boxed in. I think giving a little space will
and if you're going to
help.
box something in, feel like inviting. Did you want to be in
Let
that
me
space?
see what else we got here. Just real quick. Oh, I got to see if I can make them bigger. They're so small. That's an interesting shot, maybe of a hummingbird with a lot of movement at 1/30th of a second. That's interesting. Oh, you added we're out. You added a. Oh, no. That's probably in the.
Oh, gotcha.
In the when now it goes from awful to clever in 2 seconds. It went from we're out of here to hey, now that's cute. All right, and that's kind of nice. It's not as strong as the other ones, but okay, but clever. I like this photographer. I just like their personality. All right, did we get this? Look at this. All right, here we go. I think this will make this.
Isn't fair because
We'll make this one our last one. Why?
Because I'm the one who set the shoot up.
You set this shoot up?
Yeah. So it had to be one. Yep. Yeah. So we did an announcement and brought not that one.
Oh,
The
so
other
this is
two
like a
I did.
workshop type of
No, just say,
environment?
hey, I'm going to be at the Florida Botanical Gardens. Who wants to show up?
Who
15
wants to have a
people.
tree grow out of her head?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So here, again, the Morgan's her name, to get the reaction out of the model, number one, and like you said, the tree just bopping out of the head.
You know what, though? We got some issues here. Number one, this is a weird crop. It's just a weird crop all the way around. I think I would be inclined to actually crop it more like this. This gets rid of the tree. It's
there you go.
probably an unfortunate place to crop is on the bottom, but I think it's a good crop on the top. But her eyes are uneven. That's something that we can easily fix in Photoshop. But she needs a little more light in her face. Let's just go right in here. It should be about 1/3 of a stop, but we're going to do a half. That's too much. Let's back it off to 1/3. Because her eye sockets are dark.
Exactly.
And it's probably because of the lighting or whatever. But it's at least it's soft lighting and it's even. In post-processing, you should get rid of this tan strap.
Yep.
I would get rid of these little marks here.
And I do like how you brought the cropping in because it got rid of some of the distractions.
Yeah, I got rid of some of the stuff. Now you just have a tree trunk going into her head, but not coming back out, which is nice. I don't know if I want to look at I just hit that. I'm not crazy about the white balance here either. Like the skin tone looks a little, I like warm skin tone, but it looks a little too yellow. It could use a little bit of work. The highlights are a little bit hot. We're getting closer, but it needs some, it needs a little TLC
Yeah, but the cropping already makes it look
but the
better.
cropping does make it
And
look
you
a lot
brought
better.
your rule up on top
Yeah,
of the
so
head.
we're not just cropping a little bit of the head. And so you're seeing the after crop here. So let's go back here. Let's do this. There's the how do we get out of this? Okay, and then let's go back to the original. Let me duplicate this so we see a before and after. So that's the after, and then this would be the. How do we get to the before?
Do your history.
Oh, I guess we could do history. No, that's not the
Open.
one. Dang it.
Right there.
How do I not? No, it's not going back. Oh, it's because it was in camera raw.
Oh.
Ugh. So sorry, guys. That was just a brain freeze. Let's go to camera raw defaults. Let's take off
There it is.
clear the cropping. And then you're going to see the whole thing. So this is a much stronger image than this.
Yes.
So anyway, but not bad. Needs a little bit of work, as we mentioned. And let's look at the other ones. We haven't looked at those yet. Where the heck am I? Here we go. Have you noticed when Vanelli makes a shoot that no one has a lot of clothes?
Oh,
have you noticed? Is it just me? Is it just me? Even Vanelli is wearing like very, very uncomfortable shorts when he shoots it, and he wears a crop top with with a midriff, full midriff. So
back in the 80s. All right, anyways.
All right.
Yeah, here I probably would have thrown more light in the back, just a touch, and the angle.
The feet, really close crop on the
Yeah.
feet. I don't think this is a flattering pose for your subject.
Yeah.
It looks casual, but it doesn't look. And I think here again, I think a better crop. I think we're going to try a better crop. So the way you get this to flip is press the letter X, and it keeps the same dimensions. I think you could probably get a better crop
There we
in
go.
here. And it doesn't also, it's more flattering because
Exactly.
I think it also, again, with the skin tone is a little too yellow. That's better. And you could crop in even a little tighter. Now, you could go a lot tighter. You could go into here and into here for medium tight.
There we go.
That's pretty good. I think that's more flattering. You got a bad thing with her hand being cut off here. That's not helping. What is going on there?
The angle is shot it at. So the hands.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's go tighter then.
Yeah.
Let's go. Can we go like up to here? I'm trying not to like cut her arm in and that's not bad. I think that's a stronger shot. All right. Well, we've run over like a ridiculous amount of time. So, Christina, have you found us winners for our 2 prizes? Christina is completely asleep. I look over there. I swear, she is like this. I'm not kidding. I'm going to give you an example. I look over there, and Christina is like this.
Well, in all fairness, the projects that we were doing, right?
She's like trashed. Okay, the reason why she's trashed is for the last 2 days, we have been filming the keynote movie for Photoshop World. She's our producer, so she has to put together, 8 different locations. We need extras. We had 20, how many
24.
scenes? 25 separate shooting scenes. She has been going for days and days, and we had to do all the filming in 2 days to have the cast of characters we need here. Guess who's in the show? And I'm not going to tell you what the thing is, but Vanelli has a key part. Now, this is the second keynote movie that you had a cameo in one. We had a small part. Vanelli's got a big part. He's one of the stars of the keynote movie, but it's really, really good, as is Matt Kluskowski and Kaylee Greer. And I'm in it as well. And anyway, we've been spending the last couple of days. That's why Christina is trashed. She has been working really, really, our whole video team, literally starting early in the morning and shooting. What did we wrap it last night? 11 o'clock, 10:45, something. Night before, like 10:30, 11, but all day. Like shooting and just going from location to location, and we'd go someplace, and then there'd be food. She's like doing all these things around. So, great job. You really, she had to do a lot. So the fact that she's now completely a vegetable, it's okay because it's over. Now it's on Juan and Jason and the crew here, and we just hired somebody new, right? That's joining our video crew. So it's up to them. Our winners today for the Platypod Ultra, courtesy of our friends at Platypod, Sandy McCurdy, you just won a Platypod, and Sarah Osenga, you just won my brand new book, the landscape photography book. If you didn't win the book, you can go to Amazon and order it, and you'll be the first to get it when it comes out. Maybe next week, by the end of next week, maybe.
Well, will it be at Photoshop World?
Yeah, it'll be at Photoshop World.
Okay.
Yeah, they said they would still have them in time for Photoshop World, so that's just a couple of weeks away. So anyway, thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to our crew here who are all dragging. You got Jason in the booth. You got Juan somewhere. I saw Juan earlier. And anyway, but thank you, Vanelli, for being here. Where can people go learn more about you?
Well, writing at Photofocus. So photofocus.com/author /Mr. Vanelli.
Mr. Vanelli?
I know.
Wow.
They
don't call her Mrs. Cher.
No.
It's just Cher. You're just Vanelli.
Then, of course, VanelliandFriends.com.
VanelliandFriends.com.
And, of course, all the social media.
And what are you on Instagram?
Same thing, Vanelli.
Vanelli. And on Twitter, I know you're just at Vanelli.
Yep.
And what are you on Google Plus, even though it doesn't exist?
It was actually Vanelli.
It was Vanelli.
Yep.
Do you know that it's not one, it's a number of articles that say the reason why Google Plus went away was because of Vanelli. He was drawing too much attention in, too many people were following him, and it exploded the algorithm. Yeah. Thanks, V, for being on the show. Always good to have you here, buddy. And thanks to my crew here. And this is not Juan, by the way, on the jib. This is Christina, who had to wake from a nap to do this next move. We'll see you guys next week right here on the grid. There goes the move. Look how smooth it is. I tell you, Juan's got to be concerned. I'll tell you right now. Look at that. It's magic.